hours.
Exactly. Right. Do you guys still have to check it? Oh, there we go. All right. Today is Monday, April 21st, and we are doing this live video, which we'll put on our Facebook page, as well as what is Numerology, Facebook, not page, but Facebook group, as well as we're going to be putting it on our YouTube as well. All right, this is looking strange to me, so I'm going to put it on gallery. Just because the way it looked was I was down below with three other people, so I don't know if it was actually speaker view or what was being shown or yeah. So if you want to be shown on this video, you can put your video on. And at the end, if you'd like to ask questions and you don't want to be shown, you can also put your questions in the chat. So this we'll start and introduce ourselves, and then we'll go and talk about our subject for the day, which are price points. Somebody at the conference asked about price points, so we thought we'd do a video on it. They're just abundant price points, especially for events that you're having, special events or products or services. Yeah, so that's what we'll be doing. All righty. So I'm Laura Canal. My business is called Miles and Smiles Alternative Solutions. I am a reflexologist, Reiki master, astrologer, and numerologist, as well as I have a few other titles behind me. Um, but I actually use everything as a revolutionary mentorship. So when you're doing a mentorship with me, I'm using your numerology and your astrology because there's so many insights in it to give you what you really need and where you're aligned with your purpose in this lifetime. So that's what I do. I've been doing numerology for my whole life, but took the course in 2016 and with Tanya Gabrielle. And then I started teaching in 2020, and Maria was one of my students. And then she took the course with Tanya Gabrielle. So, yeah. And here we are. All
Here we
right.
are.
And here we are.
That's right. Well, my name is, well, we pretty much met. Everybody here knows who we are, but I am Maria Esposito, and I am the founder and owner of Revolution9, a wholeness training and wellness company. Um, so for myself, I guess you could call me a psychic healer, a wholeness trainer. And I dabble in and utilize the beautiful tools of hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, neurolinguistic programming, coupled into with this beautiful spiritual divination tool of numerology and also my intuitive abilities to more or less help people to create awareness, release, healing, and revolutionary change in whatever area of their lives. So numerology numbers have been a very big part of my life from when I was young. Is more or less from when I was young to now is how spirit kind of talks to me and gives me insights and downloads into aspects of my life and also my clients' life. So I use this beautiful tool in very creative ways. Even within my past and current, consulting company where I help people build wealth, and I was using the tool of real estate. So this session is actually a really good one because I've had numerous conversations with people and even a few of my old clients in the area of how to use numerology, in creating abundance, knowing their codes, house codes, creating price points and things like that. But even using this in a space of like real estate investing, knowing numerology and knowing, okay, is this house, is this address aligned with you? And is this a fortunate name? So I use this tool in every aspect and even in the area of healing with my clients. So yeah, and that's just a little summary of who I am.
All right. Thank you, Maria. And hi, Nancy. Welcome. And welcome, Chiesta. Glad you guys could make it. And if you want to be shown, you can have your video on, or you can just stay with your video off. At the end, we're going to allow everybody to ask questions. We're going to go over what our subject is about price points. Now, Maria and I have done, for some people that weren't there or didn't know, we did a conference which is called the Peace Conference, the Psychic Entrepreneur Ascension Conference and Exposition a couple weekends ago. And a few people are on here from that conference and started following us and added themselves to our group. And we did it for businesses. So we did the numerology for businesses for fortunate name and the date of launch. But this is all about price points. And price points can be for an event that you want to do, or a product, or even a service. And I do it with my services too. So I think Maria and I discussed that she's going to give her knowledge of this, and then, or how she knows how to use it. And then I'm going to give, I took an accelerated program with Tanya Gabrielle, and this is some of the tips that I'm going to give. So there we go. And they're probably aligned because I talk all the time to Maria about what I know and the knowledge I have, and she's just soaks it up.
Observes it all. Observes it all and uses it. We're students of life. So yes, and that's how we learn from each other. And the thing that like, even some ways that I use there's no right or wrong way. It's just what resonates with you, and it's
Right.
just like when people ask, well, what's the difference between numerology and, angel numbers? It's the same. There's no right or wrong. It's just what the resonance on what resonates with you, because there is a certain discernment when you're using these numbers and that resonance within you. So there is no right or wrong, and but yes, we do adhere to the rules, because there are some of these, there are a little bit of rules that you want to stand by because of various reasons, which we shared at the conference with regards to fortunate and challenging name numbers. So
Mhm.
so that's the key thing is, still respecting those rules, when using these. But overall, there's a lot of flexibility in how you interpret, discern, and use the tools in different ways. So, mhm.
Perfecto. So there you go. So does anybody have any questions before we start? I think I'll throw that out there.
No, I just want to say kudos to you guys at the Peace Conference. You were the only speakers that I recall that actually gave business information.
Oh,
Everyone's talks were all very uplifting, very good, insightful with different tools and things, but you guys were the only ones I remember that really gave information specific to helping businesses.
um, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're both very like, we like processes and tools. I'm a process oriented, as Laura would say. So we figured, this numerology is such a powerful tool. Intuition, it's sometimes it's a little bit harder to, when you're dealing with more energetic type of things, where sometimes being able to create a process, like even for myself as a hypnotherapist, I do groups, and trying to put a process on and do step-by-step process for a technique, right? A hypnosis technique. Sometimes it's a little bit challenging, right? Because it's we all maneuver in this space a little bit differently, but thank you for that comment. And yes, I'm glad that I hope you received value from the information we provided.
Yes, there definitely wasn't enough time, but
Fair
it
enough.
just made me more curious.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's why you're here. So you're here tonight. So you'll learn a little bit more. And by all means, we say for anyone new, go back because there's so much information. And when you have time in your leisure, go back through the posts and read through that and make notes or whatever it is that works for you. Because there's a lot of information. And at times we do recycle the information and add our own different intuitive whatever downloads in things that we reuse within the communities. So by all means, you know, there's always there's an abundant information within the within the group. So
Yeah.
keep going back and and read over those posts.
And
So
definitely,
and post it anytime you have questions.
absolutely. You know what? Everybody can put in a question. I get it every once in a while. Actually, one of the girls from the conference did. I like number 37. Oh, good. I can give you an interpretation of number 37. And you know what we do, I do every Monday is I do messages from universal energy. So these are my interpretation of the numbers, and I put on top of the post what the numbers are. Like today when I did the post, it was number 9, number 16, can't remember the numbers. Number 9, number 16, 21, and 13, I think it was. Yes, it was. And when I did the interpretation, it's just kind of like a combination of all the different numbers, kind of like angel numbers in a way, but it's an interpretation for the day and actually even the week coming up. So on what, it's really big on the intuition. And so I think it was number 16 I used. I can't remember. So a lot of times when we're using our intuition, that means that the left brain isn't being working. It's actually the intuition that is working at the time. What's today? The number 21. And yeah, it was now I got it, 9, 13, 16, and 21. It's like something like that. Anyways, it's on top of the post. But yeah, anytime you have a question or you see numbers or whatever you want, and we'll jump on there and we'll give you an interpretation of it. So there you go.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So do you want me to start, Laura?
Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So with our topic, so using price points. So I guess to start, key things like, so knowing that with the root causes, sorry, I have root causes. That's a term that I use in my field. So my apologies. Yes, I have root causes in my
Number.
So the root numbers from 1 to 9. So from 1 to 9, they're all abundant numbers. But when you're looking at, using like there are several numbers that which are 1, 1, 6, 8, and 9, and those are abundant numbers that you really want to use within your price points. And but even if because I mean, Laura will share some more specifics, like ending things with a 7 has a certain vibration, but utilizing those numbers of 1, 6, 8, and 9 within your price points will just add another level of abundant vibration. So when using price points, so like we shared at the Peace Conference, Using the Caladian system. So using the Caladian system, that will dictate and that will show you, if a price point is fortunate or if it could bring in some challenging. So just to give a little summary, what's the difference between what's a fortunate and what's a challenging? Fortunate will allow the flow of abundant vibration to just flow very easily. So using, knowing those numbers and allowing it to flow in a very abundant way. So by using the Caladian system, which we could probably, if there isn't a poster ready, we could put the Caladian system in the group. So you could have that with you to use if you want to know if it's a challenging or if it's a fortunate number. So a challenging could bring, very simply, could bring obstacles, to that number. So just knowing, is this price point for this product, for this event? If it's challenging, you want to use the Caladian system for that. Now, another way I like to look at how my price points work with my soul codes. So within the group we've shared, we have 6 soul codes. 3 of the codes, which are your main codes, which are your day of birth, your life path or life purpose, and your destiny. Those are your 3 main codes. So I like to specifically focus on those ones. And what I'll do is that using the Pythagorean system, I'll see how this price point aligns with those 3 codes. And so to give you, again, a rule, kind of like a rule, for my day of birth, I'm a 31-4. So a 4 and an 8 root numbers have a karmic relationship. So I'm very careful with, if I'm doing a price point, knowing that one of my main codes is a 4, I'm never going to have a price point that is going to end up with an 8. Even though 8 is an abundant number, I won't use that in my code because I have that 4, that has that very karmic, that very, that relationship with the 4 and the 8. So to give you an example, so I'm very cognizant with that, knowing that, using that 4 and making sure. So I like to stick to, so the 6, so going back to those 4 abundant numbers, I have a 6 and a 9 in my soul code. So usually my price points are either are usually ending, like when you add up that price point, will always end up in a 6 or a 9. So that's how I look at that. Now, again, it's not a rule, but I like to look to see how my price points even resonate with my soul codes. And again, not using that 8, even though that is an abundant number, I don't usually, target my numbers using that 8 because of that 4 and 8 karmic relationship that the 2 numbers have. So yeah, so you could again use that challenging using the Caladian system, specific to the fortunate and challenging. Then I also like to look at how it resonates, the price point resonates with my soul codes. So those are the 2 main ways that I like to utilize when I'm determining various price points, for products and services and, events and whatnot. So that's in a nutshell for me.
And so it doesn't have to be that complicated. Sorry.
Can you see the look on my face?
I'm just like, it doesn't have to be that complicated. So when I took the accelerated program, there was nothing using the fortunate and not fortunate because you're bringing this right down. You're not looking at double digits. You're not looking at any other number until you get down to the base numbers. So you want it to add up to a 1, a 6, 8 or 9. I mean, for you, if 8 doesn't resonate, and a lot of times it's funny because I do some collaboration with other people and they love 8. They love 8. But if I was to do a price point, I would do it to 9 because I am a 9 life path. That's how I do it. That's my favorite number. Like I like 7s and 9s. 7 is not as fortunate in a price point. So you do it to 1, 6, 8, or 9. Now, with that, price points, it doesn't matter what the currency is too. So keep that in mind as well. It doesn't matter if it's Canadian money, American money, pesos, euros, pounds sterling. It does not matter what the money is that you're adding up. It just matters on the price of it, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind. Some price points don't work. So if they add up to 2, 3, 4, 5, they don't work. Like the 2 is just it's a number that just is too rounded. It's too movement. There's too much movement. At 4 just has blocks and obstacles. So it's just, and then 5 is actually the number of business, but it's also too much of a movement in those price points. So in order to do your whole number, you write down the price of it, and it doesn't matter if it has cents. So and then you add it up. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple examples. If you have pen and paper there and you want to write them down, that's great. So for example, if the price is $299.95, you add up, remove that 0 and just add up 2 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 5. And that adds up to 34.7. So because it doesn't add up to, an 8 or 9, I would probably change that to something else. Maybe, okay, so 299.97. So that's what I would add it up to, because that would add up to 36, which would bring it down to a root number 9. So completely bring it down to the root number every time and don't look at the other double digits of it. Same with example number 2, 5,500. And a lot of times you write these numbers with like 5,500. Don't put a comma in it. Especially you would if it's a house, and I'll get to that later on. But it looks more a smaller price if you don't put the comma. It's the way our brain perceive things. So then you would add 5 plus 5 plus 0 plus 0, and that comes up to 10.1, which is very abundant. The next product price, for instance, is $9.99, and that comes up to 27, and it comes up to 9, right? So $9.99. You take the period out of it, and you just add 9 plus 9 plus 9 equals 27. You add 2 plus 7, and that is 9. It's a pretty simple way of doing it. Now, if you're getting into more of real estate prices, even for buying, even for or selling, it doesn't matter. You could look at the price and you could make sure that it's abundant. Or in Maria's way, she makes sure that it adds up to a number that she resonates with, which would be probably a number 1 or number 9 or something like that, right?
6 and 9s. Those are the 2 numbers I stick to because they're part of
Which
my
ones?
code. 6 and 9.
6 and 9.
My life path is a 33.6.
That's right.
And my destiny number is a 72.9. So those are the 2 numbers I pretty much stick to. But like you said, sometimes the numbers just don't work.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you have to take a different path, right?
That's right. I have mine add up to 10.1 because my day birth is a 1,
That's
and
right.
then or 9.
Mhm.
So for one of my sessions, it's $127. And some people go, why do you have 127? Because the number 7 at the end of a price point is magical. For
Mm.
some reason, it draws people in. And to know what the root number 7 is all about, if you look at it, it kind of peaks to the top, goes to heaven, and pulls it down to earth. It's a magical number, and it's the only one out of the root numbers that has 2 syllables. So it descends from heaven.
Mm.
And that's why it's funny. I went through it and I'm going, oh yeah, that's right. It does. If you number 1 is one symbol or syllable, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, they're all one syllable. Number 6.
Mm.
Number 7 is 2 syllables. Number 8, number 9, number 10. Is that funny?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never
Um,
actually looked at it that way, but you're right. That's the only number that actually has 2 syllables. Hmm.
Another price point that I have is 168. Why do I have 168? It adds up to, oh, 15.6. That's why. Yeah.
There we go.
There
There's
you
the
go.
6.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I do that, or another price point I have is 73 because it adds up to 10.1. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's how I do it in my price pointing things. And when I do it like that, and most people will do it like that, it's before tax too. Because a lot of countries don't even have tax. Of course, here in Canada, we're taxed, like, and taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed, right?
Yeah.
So there's a few little perceptions on the way that we do price points as well in how you would write the price point. And so I got a couple of tips for you. If you're a business owner and you're doing like price points on a social media thing, make sure that when you're writing a price point, displaying the font of the price point, actually make it look smaller. It's funny because people will get drawn in even though it's smaller because they think it's less money. Like their brain perceives it as less money. Isn't that
Hmm. That's a good one. I like that one.
It is. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I want to make it bigger, but no, they say make it smaller. Now, some people have subscriptions, right? And in their subscription, they have 3 different price points for their, subscription.
Mhm.
Whether it's like, I don't know, bronze, silver, gold, or whatever they call their price points. You would make the words bigger and the price point smaller
Hmm.
to draw yourself to what it is you're getting, whatever you're naming those 3 subscriptions for, like all inclusive and then just a minimum, or how some different businesses like Square have your basic free and then your professional, and then they all have these different all inclusive. So, and then they put their prices in a smaller font
Mhm.
because
Hmm.
your mind perceives it as being a smaller amount.
Love it.
But here's where you would make it larger. If it is a percentage you have off, say it's 15 or 20% off, or $10 or $15 off, you would make that a bigger font.
Mhm.
Because it's the saving they're having and their mind perceives it as the saving they're having.
Hmm.
Interesting, huh?
That is very interesting. I like that.
Yeah, and then also like when I
Almost
was,
like you could use these as it's marketing. It's like a marketing
it's
tactic.
a marketing, they're marketing tips, yeah. But
Mhm.
it's just the way that it is. And then, like I said, when say that you've got a big ticket item and it's $1,999, right? So when you're displaying that, you wouldn't put the comma in because most of the time we'll put $1,999.
Mhm.
And but you would take the comma out because your brain perceives it as being less because it's shrunken.
Hmm. Interesting.
Just little
Yeah.
tips and tricks. And so that was the accelerated program that I took, and I thought, oh, that's quite interesting, the way it goes. But yeah, always make your, 15% off, you make it bigger and you make it bolder and you even do colors on it, right? So that people attracts them and they're thinking wow, they get all this money off, right? Because your brain perceives it. Your brain just, it's kind of like the unconscious, right? Your brain just perceives what the intel that's, and it's from being programmed in this way.
Mm,
Yeah.
very good.
So yeah, that's my little tips and tricks for um doing I had little notes here I wrote down to remind myself, because I can go way off topic and I can just digress and all that stuff. Yeah, so take the periods and the commas out and just add everything up. That's how it is. So
Excellent.
if there's any questions or if they're confused on anything that I said, please ask questions. We're here to, or even if you have anything else, any other questions or comments or anything else,
I have a couple.
you go, Lena.
Was there anything about within those prices about any part of the number being smaller? You know, you see the cents are sometimes smaller in the font, or
No.
like if you had
Mm.
1,999, the 999 would be smaller. There's nothing about that.
No, it had all of them being all the same size but smaller than like normal. Like normally you would do it bigger, a bigger font, right?
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, they would all be the same size. Because
Okay.
your
And then
brain will perceive it as, why is there somewhere
I
some,
was just curious because you see a lot like the cents will be a smaller font
yeah.
than the rest. The other question I had, how I was telling you this at the conference and I never did look it up. How do you get your destiny number?
Oh, okay. So how we did it in the Pythagorean alphabet, and
Oh, okay.
not the Chaldean alphabet. Chaldean is for fortunate name numbers. And so when we do it for the just normal destiny number, you would do the Pythagorean. Let me see if I can.
Okay. I can look that up.
The Pythagorean systems, actually, there is a post with the alphabet in the
Okay.
you'll see it there. It's like multicolored, yeah. And it'll say
Oh, did you do
Pythagorean.
one with the post? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we have a few posts. I think we have at least 2 posts there of the Pythagorean system in the group.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you
Okay. And
posted it too, hon. I think you posted it,
Did
Laura.
it? Probably at one point.
And I
And
think
when
I
you're
may have
talking about
posted.
using those numbers with your price points, I know we touched on this at the conference, like how you would use both the double digit and the single digit. Like I know Laura, you and I had the same birthday, June 1st.
Oh, you're the June 1st.
Yeah. But then my life purpose number is also 28 or bringing it down to 10 or 1.
And one. Okay, so you have a double one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So how like is it good to use that number in price points? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
So
Like
that's what I'm
bringing it
saying.
down to
Yeah.
1?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
see. So that's how I use my 3 codes, is so my 3 are a 31/4 is my day of birth.
Mhm.
Then I use and then my life path is a 33-6 and my destiny is a 72-9. So I like to use the 6 and the 9 because not only are those abundant numbers in the accelerated course that, Laura just mentioned. So I like to use those in my price points. But once again, not all my price points reflect that because I kind of use different I try to stick to my destiny, my main soul codes, and stick to those numbers. But you could also you know you still use the other, because like I said, the 1, 6, 8, and 9. I don't use the 8, but a lot of people like 8. But because I have my 4, I don't. I stay away from the 8, even though chances are, it's not really going to have a karmic anything to it because I'm pretty in a space of, half glass full, and I have a pretty good state management and I'm pretty high vibe. But again, I still knowing that there is that karmic relationship, I stay away from that, so, but that's my own personal preference. Other people that may have a 4 in their codes might love using the 8 and it works well with them, like Laura said. So,
Mhm.
yeah. But going back to your question, the destiny number is basically utilized using the Pythagorean, but it's using your birth certificate name. So when you have that alphabet, which it'll be in the group, you would take your name that's literally printed on your birth certificate, and those letters of each of your names, you know, you basically figure out exactly what each letter in your name represents in terms of numerically. And then you would add each of your names. So for example, my name is, and I think there's a post in there about doing destiny numbers too. So that might be another post for us to reiterate if you want to know specifically, because there are a few steps to doing the destiny number. But yes, so that's specific to it's attached to your birth certificate name.
Okay.
You know?
One last question. I see a lot of people in this business use 333, 777 for their price points for selling their services. I'm assuming those are angel numbers they're using that they're more in line with.
Yeah. So when you're using 777, it adds up to 21, which adds up to 3. So I find it a very emotional number, and people are based on emotion. It may work for them, and sometimes those price points may work a little bit for them, but they kind of are far and few between. They might work for a while and not work abundantly.
Okay. I think they even used it for the conference, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I seen
I
that.
think the tickets
111,
were
222,
222 for the early birds and then
Yeah.
333 for the later tickets.
Yeah,
And
those are more angel numbers. That's just it. They're a little bit
That's right.
different. Like when you look at the root of it, all of the vibrational meanings, they kind of still summarize, and there is definitely an alignment with all of the different systems and all of the different modalities out there. Um,
Mhm.
but there are differences as well. I've noticed that with the angel numbers, there are differences in comparison to numerology. So,
Right. But 222 adds up to 6, so it's all right. And
yeah.
333 adds up to 9. So, and the 111, it adds up to 3, but they're basing it on the one itself, right? So, yeah, everybody's got
okay.
their thing. Yeah. All right. Thanks for all the questions. Love it. Love it. Anybody else have any questions or comments or
I have a question.
hi, Sheila, how are you?
I'm doing well, Laura. How are you?
Good, excellent. Well,
Uh,
good. What's your question?
First of all, good to see you. And thank you to both of you for organizing this. This has been, I'm still wrapping my head around it, but it's been good, good to know, I think, moving forward. I just wanted to know to what degree we should be looking at numerology when we do certain things. So, for example, let's say you're working on a book, for example, like you're looking at the title, subtitle. Do we? I'm assuming we should be like adding up what the title, like the numbers that would be affiliated with the title, subtitle, and all of that to see what that leads to get that
Right.
kind of out there marketing and all of that. Does it matter like how many pages it has or any of that? Like, is there anything specific that one should be looking at?
On the page, no, no, I wouldn't. You could actually have it aligned to an abundant number, like, but that's just basically, having it align with the number 1 or number 6, 8, or 9, right? So, and that's pretty easy to do, to give you, if you have 499 pages in the book, or even less. That came up to my head. I don't know why. So that would be 18 plus 4, and that's 22. So I would actually make it less than that and make it down to, or more than that. So I would actually take away 4. So I would make it 497, which actually adds, no, that's 20. That's still a 2. I'm trying to get it down to 1.
Well,
6.
that's what we're aiming for.
496
Okay.
would give you 1910 So you could do it in that way, to make sure that it's aligned in that way. Now, when you say book title and subtitle,
Yeah.
so
I would
generally
definitely be
it's the
looking at those.
book title itself that's going to be, it's kind of like okay, this is what's coming in my mind. It's kind of like the title is your name, right? Is your abundant name, or that destiny birth certificate name, whereas the current name would be the subtitle. And so you would give more effort to be doing your title as being that abundant, fortunate name than you would do the subtitle.
Okay.
Understand?
No.
I personally wouldn't, if it was me, if I was writing a book, I wouldn't put much emphasis on the subtitles. For me,
Yeah.
the title of the book is, that's what you're broadcasting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
personally, for me, I would be aligning and putting more emphasis on that, as opposed to getting into the nitty-gritty details of the page numbers, subtitles. So you can by all means, but I think I'd be putting more focus on that title, because that's what you're broadcasting, right?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not until people actually open it up and look at the subtitles or look at the table of contents, whatever it is, whatever type of
Yeah.
you're writing, that could have an additional vibration to it. But I personally would just be focusing on the main title, like Laura said, because that's where I,
Because you might be convoluting the name of the title if you are trying to fit everything in this abundant,
Mhm.
if you have, okay, so if you have too much accelerated like abundance to okay, micromanaging every single detail of this book, then you're kind of, your mind is not on the validity of the title itself,
That's right.
right? It's kind of like our business names, right? Okay, so with my business name, I always say my name is Laura Canal and my business, or I'm the founder of Miles and Smiles Alternative Solutions. It's all about Miles and Smiles Alternative Solutions, or Miles and Smiles. It's all about that. That's what I'm selling you, because it's about happy, smiling feet, whatever, however you want to look at it, right? it's a play on words because it's about happy feet, but happy feet was already in reflexologist name. So I went miles of smiles because it's walking miles. Yeah.
Love it.
I
Mhm.
giggle. Yeah. So
Fair enough. I think yeah.
having fun. So it's about, we always want to allow the universe to be able to work with us. So if we're trying to manage too much in that, like the title and the subtitles and the number of pages in it might get just lost in translation. And the universe won't know what to give you. So
Yeah.
just give the title and then,
Focus on that.
yeah, sound good?
Yeah, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. All
Mhm.
right. So, got a few more minutes. Any other questions? Even if it's off topic, even if it wasn't about our topic tonight, we're more than happy to
Answer any questions that you have.
yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
I think I'm starting to get tired.
I know we sometimes we do that. We finish each other's sentences. I know exactly what you're gonna say just when you're saying it.
Kind
So
of drifted off there. Oh my goodness. All right. So yes, I'll see if I can pull up the Pythagorean alphabet and just kind of put your name there, Selena.
Oh,
See
perfect.
if it'll pull it up to the top of the group.
you know what, Laura, I want to say I saw something. Just give me a second because you know what I was actually going to say.
It's in there.
What's that?
It's in, okay, so
It's in there.
you did your destiny with it?
I just looked it all up. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's
If
awesome.
you found it,
For
Nancy,
confirming
pull
that.
it
Yeah,
to
I
the
did.
top.
Yeah.
Pull it
Huh?
to the top by putting a comment on it.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, make a comment
Comment
exactly.
on it. Say,
So,
I found the destiny number. And then
The
it
prophet-
Pythagorean. Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Pythagorean alphabet to do your destiny number. Because then as soon as you comment on it, it should pull it up to the top of the group.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yay, thanks, Nancy.
Welcome.
Awesome. I thought I saw something. I thought I saw a post within our group, but maybe I was incorrect.
Oh, we've had thousands of posts.
I know, no, I mean recently that came in and I was going to address it here, but I think it was, I want to say it was I just saw it and I didn't really focus because I was literally in
You
transition.
don't remember what it was?
S- maybe it was, I think it was maybe Caitlin that posted she was seeing several series of triple digits.
Oh, yeah, she did it a couple weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't current? Oh, okay. So then for some reason in my oh here, no.
Was
One
it current?
hour. Yeah, here it is. I found it. Yeah, it is Caitlin. So, okay, so the past week she's been seeing angel numbers everywhere. So she's been seeing the 222, 333,
Oh, yeah,
444, and 555. So if we want, do you want to just kind of give a summary of, of those numbers here,
sure.
since we have a few minutes here?
Okay, so 2,
So, yeah. So
3,
2,
3,
3,
5,
4,
5, 5.
4, and 555.
4, 4, 4, and 5, 5, 5. Okay.
Yes.
And 1 please. Oh, sorry, 1
And 111.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of 11 lately.
Yeah. Well, those are portal numbers. And the 111s are also portal numbers. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I've been seeing all of those numbers, and I was actually going to ask you guys, that would be my second question, if we could talk
Oh.
about it, and you brought it up, so it's amazing.
Oh, there you go.
That's how
I
the
was probably
universe
typing
works.
into you because literally it just came to my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that post, but I didn't even click on it, but I saw it come in. So there you
Oh,
go.
that's funny.
So, okay. So if you're the master at one, so by all means, like Laura, you could share because I mean, not only are you rooted, I see, I like the number 10s. tens resonate with me, but they're not part of my codes. But
Right.
the 11s, I see a lot of 11s as well. And those are definitely, for me, when they come through, and what my guides are telling me is trust is is a portal. So it's more or less telling you to move forward and trust.
That makes
For
sense.
me, that's what it tells me. It's to trust. I like to look when I see triple digits, I'm always looking, what am I doing? What am I thinking? What's going on in my environment now when I'm seeing it? And then what's going on? But when I see the 111s or the 1111s, it's it's a number of telling you it's a portal. So it's telling you to move forward, leadership, take that step, that action, and trust, kind of like trust in the process. So that's what I know for me. That's what the message is always telling me. And then it depends on what's going on in that time, in that moment, or what's going on, in my life. Those are the areas that I kind of chunk it down and look at the different areas for the ones. And Laura could share her.
Yeah, with the 111, same thing. It's all about the new beginnings, the intuition, the leadership. It's all about the energy. This is the energy to take action. So with the number 1. And when I look at the number 111, it can be a very emotional number as well, because I add them up, right? I add everything up. So, and it comes to the number 3. So it's all about movement, creation, and social ability as well. So, but it might be asking you to step into a new beginning with, social interactions, or, anything in that way. But it is basically pulling your heaven, its connection to heaven, to earth, because of the number 1 that points from heaven to earth.
Yeah.
So,
Very intuitive number.
very intuitive.
Yeah. Yeah, like Laura, she likes to add things up. So when I see the triple digits, I do it in 2 steps, but primarily my go-to is looking at the triple emphasis of that number.
Right.
Laura likes to add things up. So I do that secondary to the triple digits. So I like to look. So when I see a 222, for me, that's telling me it's all about support. It's a very supportive number. It's also telling me that it's, but it's support in a compassionate, loving space. It's kind of like it's a divine feminine number. So it could be in that divine feminine. It's not an emotional, but it is like when you think of a mother, it's just that compassion, that love, that supportive, that support. So that's what I look at. I look at the triple emphasis of that number that I see. Then what I'll do secondary is add it up and be like, oh, okay, because there could be some times where in that moment, adding it up resonates more than just the triple digit itself. So I like to look at the different options and see what aligns more with me.
Okay. And the number 22, are you done with the number
Yes.
222? Okay, number 222 for me will all be about alignment and balance. It's also reminds me of peace and healing. It's very compassionate, creating balance and harmony and peace by supporting and service. It's a heart-centered love for self and others.
Yeah. So the 333 for me is all about creativity. It's about creation. It's a very joyous, yes, like Laura says, sensitive. So it's a very sensitive, a very empathic number.
Right.
But I like to look at it, it's also about self-expression, and it's about upliftment. you know, so all of these beautiful, beautiful, it's such a beautiful, creative, sensitive and number. So it could be telling you to be creative, you know, be really creative and, you know, and find the joy in what you're creating, you know, because it is a creation number. So, mhm.
And I totally agree with you in every way. The only thing I would add is also the soul's expression through love and empathy while servicing humanity with joy. So it gives you that little humanitarian number with when I add up to the 9.
Right. There you go. Exactly. The 3s and the 9s, they're kind of very, yeah, beautiful. And the 444. So I really resonate with a lot of the 4s. It's not an abundant number per se, but the number 4 for me is all about it's a very grounded. It's about listening to your intuition and grounding it in a practical way, step by step. You know, it's a very methodical, very step-by-step process type number, but it's also a very highly intuitive number. So it's telling you to, yes, you know, be aware of what's going on in your external world, but really listening to your intuition and grounding in that, you know, in a, you know, and take action and move forward in a step-by-step manner. Yeah. So.
Totally agree. The only things I would add would be for the 444, it's about protection. It's practicality and it's a foundational number as well. So it's protection while manifesting through intuition and grounding into a practical step-by-step process. So I was just gonna full round that.
Beautiful. 100% agree with that. Yes.
Mhm.
There's so many levels and so many details to these numbers. So we're just giving you a very chunked up summary. So the 555, the 5 is, you can look at it the opposite of the 4. So the 5 is all about freedom. There's no structure. The 4 is all about structure. The 5 is all about freedom. It's about taking, you know, taking those calculated risks, you know, and letting yourself just be free to make those choices and, you know, not be bounded by structure and, you know, methodical processes. So it is a very free flowing, it's a beautiful, it's also another very intuitive number, but you need to be careful with the 5 because you really want to, you know, because it sits on a rocker. So you don't want to, you want to take risk and take, you know, action and in the sense of, you know, take those risks, you know, because it is a very, I don't want to say risk adverse, but you want to be careful, you know, but you want to be free to make those choices. But you want to make sure that you're not going overboard with taking big risks because it could be to your detriment. So,
Works.
yeah.
So the one thing that I'm going to add to this is momentum. Number 5 always reminds me, especially with the triple amplification of number 5, the momentum. It's not just the movement, you get this momentum happening. It's embracing the change while trusting all is working for one's highest and best. And then the freedom creates momentum as you flow. Of desires are being communicated. So there's big on communication. The number 555 can be changed, but 555 can also talk about messages and from spirit or messages that are downloading. And then also 5 is business. 555 could be business as well, because number 5 is the number of business. Interesting.
Perfect.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
actually going to turn on my light because I could see it's really dark behind me.
I
So-
had to do that too.
Oh, I'm like, What, why are you in the dark?
Literally just got so dark, like just it was light and then it was dark. Okay.
Yep. All righty.
Beautiful. So yeah,
Good.
so we could definitely answer those in the group for Caitlin. Maybe we'll have her say, you know, the last 10 minutes, we kind of gave her a really, you know, a really good summary of both of our interpretations of that. So hopefully
Yeah.
she can go through, you know, if she doesn't want to watch the whole episode, then the last 10 minutes. So
Yeah,
we
you
could,
can go through it. For sure, for sure.
so so that's wonderful.
All right.
I think that's it.
Anybody else have anything else? I think we're gonna wrap this up now because Laura's got a hit day.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say I
Yes,
do.
you do.
I'll post them in the group. My questions in the group because I know Laura, you gotta go to bed.
Oh, do you have a couple more questions? No, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I
Okay.
just a couple like first of all, like why is 5 for business? How is 5 a business number? What does that
So
mean?
in the interpretation of the root numbers, the number 5 is the number of business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just it
It
just
just
is.
is.
Yeah, it just
The
is.
other thing, a number that keeps showing up in my life for births and deaths and all kinds of things is 13. Like, what meaning do I break that down to 4 or keep it at 13 or?
No, keep it at 13. So number 13 is the divine feminine number. But it is all about transformation, life, death, and rebirth.
Oh wow, that's
Mhm.
interesting.
And it's also known as the genius number.
Yeah.
31s and 13s are also considered genius numbers.
Okay, my mom passed away on the 13th and my daughter was born on the 13th.
Hmm.
And then my husband's birthday's the 13th and his mom's birthday's the 13th and my other daughter's birthday is the 13th.
Yeah, there seems to be like when you think of like Friday the 13th, you know, there's a stigma, just like the 666. You know,
Right.
there's like negative interpretations, and I think sometimes people stick to that, but it's actually the complete opposite with like Laura said, the 13 is a very beautiful number. And just like the 666, 666 is a very powerful number, but um it's been what's the word? Like it's
I
been
think in angel numbers, it's something about careful about being materialistic.
oh
666?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll give you my interpretation of 666.
Yes.
Because 666 was always looked as being a very demonic number,
Mm-hmm.
but
that's the word.
666, when you add it up, it is the unconditional love. So it adds up to 18. 18 is unconditional love, which adds up to 9.
That's right.
So what it's all about is unconditional love. So back in the day, this stems from the Catholicism and the Catholic Church, and so they like to they vilified the number 13, and then they vilified the way that we look at. If you understand the numbers 3, 6, 9, it's in a triad, which is about emotional, love, and artistic. It's all about our creation of how we're supposed to exude love to each other. But the patriarch had their thumbs on us for centuries so that we wouldn't do that, so that we wouldn't share our unconditional love. So it's all about the light and unconditional love. Yes, there are dark, and if you don't understand, or you don't know, or no, that's not what I was saying. If you don't recognize the darkness, you can't see the light. So you definitely have to understand light and dark in any way, shape, or form. So back in the day, the Ouija board and number 666 were all about, you're connecting with the devil or demonic spirits. Well, it might have been your grandmother. You know what I So it's not about, and that's how they did it back then. They made you all woo scared
Yeah.
about it. It's like, no, 666 is about unconditional love. It was funny. I did a talk with this one group back in the day where Louise and Susan Winning, what was their group called? The Soul Sisters.
Soul Sisters. That's
And
right.
so we're all in a group and I was giving a talk on 666. And the one lady put her hand up and she goes, my favorite number is 666. I said, are you this like loving, caring person that brings everybody together, like unconditionally loving? Her two daughter-in-laws were sitting on each side of her and they're going, yup, yup. And so that's, she had to have 66, like her email address had 666 and her everything had 666 in it. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So it's just the way people want to vilify things.
Yeah.
Me, see, I get started on things.
Yeah. Yeah.
That explains a lot, Laura. That like I've had this question for a very long time where because like I would see it and I don't really intuitively pick up anything negative. I'm like, why do people hate it so much? I don't understand, but this makes sense.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some powers to be, they want to,
Keep us down.
yeah, they want to use the power within that number. You know, it's for me, the 6 is also about the cosmic parent. You know, it's like when you look at a parent, it's like it looks like a pregnant mother. There's so much love and compassion and, you know, service, you know, responsibility, you know, to that number. So they've, you know, created this for lack of a better word, a lie that to really bring down the vibration of what that number actually means and represents. So
It's like, yeah, it's like the number 13. It cracks me right up.
right.
I'm sorry. If you're in a hotel and if you're on the floor number 12,
Yeah.
you're on floor number 12. If you're on floor number 14, you're on floor 13. I'm sorry. You come them from the bottom.
Yeah.
It's so straightforward. It's like, I don't understand like how they took it out of apartment buildings, out of hotel complexes. It's like,
Yeah.
sorry, there's no floor 13. Okay.
It's so odd. Yeah. It's
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
no, it doesn't.
No. So anyways, yeah, I could go on and on, but
Mhm.
I do have to go. I have to fly. So I am going to stop the recording
And please post, Selena,
yeah.
post your questions in the group, and we'll be more than happy to answer them there. And we will, once we figure out our next, we're just arranging our next next month's call. Any suggestions? We're open to suggestions of anything specific that you'd like us to discuss.
Sure.
So, please post.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. Well, thank you very much, ladies. You know, thank you so much for taking your time and joining us and for all your questions. We hope that you received value from this and you continue to receive value from the group and just want to say,
Oh, can't hear you anymore. All right. Can't hear you. All of a sudden you went, no.
No.
Nope.
hey, can you hear me now? Yes.
Yeah.
I told you, that's what I said. These earbuds, they're new because my other ones died, but they're old. So I'm like, do these things even work? Okay.
They did for
Good.
the first hour and 14 minutes. Anyways, okay.
Very good. Beautiful.
And thank you. We appreciate everybody coming, and it just makes it so much better when everybody's together and having a big a group in discussion is great. So thank you for
Yeah.
participating.
Thank
Thanks,
you, everyone.
ladies.
Thank you.
All right.
You're
right.
welcome. Have a
for
wonderful
now.
night. We'll see you soon.